riff. The next riff. All these riffs are hard. All right, so the pattern he's doing is similar to Boonville Stomp here, where he's playing around the fact that the 10th fret on the E and the open on the D, when he pops it, are the same note. So for Boonville Stomp, it's like a... And this one is more like a... So he's dancing around that 10th fret, but that's where you're resting. So I'm not going to show this little double thump part. That's the super hard part, but I'm going to show you the bare bones version first. That way you can kind of get the backbone of the riff, and then realize that he's doing the double thumps more or less when he's not singing. And when he starts singing, he gets rid of the double thump and starts doing it this way. So the way he does it kind of towards the verses is open E, hammer on to 10 E, pop D open, just like that. And then when you start doing the notes, it's 10, 13, 8, and 7. So what you would do is 10, the first measure, is you'd be going 10, 10, 13, 8. So there's your first measure. The second measure is similar, but you're just doing a 10, 13, 7, 8. So those two measures together would be 10, 10, 13, 8, 10, 13, 7, 8. So that's essentially it. Now I know that too is like when he's doing the verses as well, is that you can like hammer on this with your fist kind of closed a little bit to mute the D string when you pop it a little bit. But it's like finding a sweet spot. You want it to be like kind of muting it, but you don't want it completely muted. Kind of like that. So there's one nuance right there. When you really want to go heavy, you can let up, kind of arch your fingers and like hit with your fingertips. That way your hand isn't in the way at all. But when you want to like kind of play it during the verses a little more quietly, you would play it with your fingers flat and kind of just hammer on your finger here. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to put down. So you got the first measure right. The second variation is like you're doing a... Same pattern, you just move up to the A and G strings instead of the E and the D. So you're doing the same exact thing, and the notes are 10, 10, 11, 8, 10, 13, 12, 11. This is a hard variation for me as well. It's kind of hard to hear. There's a lot going on in the mix to where the bass isn't really standing out perfectly. But I think I got it. It's kind of like essentially the same thing. The thing is that I know he's not hitting that open G and letting it ring out every note. So I just picked and choose my notes, and the first four notes, the 10, 10, 11, 8, I'm doing... And then when I hit the 13, 12, 11, that's when I let the G open ring out. He's probably doing something like that. I don't know. That's what I'm doing, but it's in that area, and I hope you figure it out. So now let's go into the double thump part, because he kind of leads off with this and then goes into the verses for the barebone version. But the more complicated double thump version is the same notes, but you're hitting 16ths. So you would go open, hammer, pop, slap. and you keep your hand on that fret that you're on. So 10, 13, 8, whatever, keep it down. And then lift it up for the next measure. So it's the double thump is actually in the middle of you switching from the 10th fret to the open fret. Now I really recommend you just stay on this 10th fret right here and try to get this down. That's like the duo de twang horse clomp right there that he did. So practice that a whole bunch before you even start moving to the other notes. Just go back and forth with it, just like that. You'll eventually get it down to where you'll feel comfortable going to all the different frets, and all that I'm doing is like one finger here, just to keep it simple. It's just always my middle finger. So there's a way in that I'll leave you off with this as well. Is there's a way to do this all in the same box by going up a string like this. But when you get on the A string and you're slapping down, you're even closer to that D string to mute it. So there's pros and cons. You'll all be in the same box, but you actually might get in the way of this pop sometimes if you don't, especially during the double thump part. Like every time I went to the A, I accidentally muted that D. I don't know if you heard. I definitely did. So just to try to keep it simple, I stay all on the E string when I'm doing these notes. This last part right here is open on the A, hammer to the 8, pop octave. So your octave root right here, and you're just following this down. So, which is 10 on the G. So 8A, 10G, open 8, 10, open 7, 9, open 6, 8, open 5, 7. Actually, on the 5 right there, you would do like this little fake hit. It's like a... You do a little delay on that last little rake on the 5, so... So there's all the ingredients. I hope you figure it out.